morning, students, and a very warm welcome to the English world of Aaradhya. Myself, Rashmin sir, imparting knowledge of English to the students of 9 to 12 standard in English medium. Students, today in this video, we will learn your first lesson. The title of the lesson is The Last Lesson. Okay, irony. The first lesson's title is The Last Lesson. Okay, forget about the title. Why it is so, you will come to know in the course of the lesson as we learn it. Why the title Last Lesson is kept. Okay, the writer of the lesson is Alphonse Daudet. Okay, so let's gather some information about the writer over here. So Alphonse Daudet, 1840 to 1897, was a French novelist and short story writer. The Last Lesson is set in the days of Franco-Prussian War. So here we don't get much information about the author. Okay, you can always get it on Google. So here you see Alphonse Daudet was just a novelist and a short story writer. He must have written many novels in French, but all over the world you see mostly English is taught. Okay, French may be taught as a language, but its literature may not be taught. But English medium schools you will find all over the world. So English writers, novels, short stories, and many other things you study. Okay, now let's see the lesson. The lesson is set in the days of the Franco-Prussian War. Now you see, over the years in the world, so many wars have been fought. Okay, this particular war, Franco-Prussian War, was fought from 1870 to 1871. Okay, 1870 in month of July it began and it ended in the month of February. Okay. Now, between which countries it was fought? It was fought between Prussia and France. So that time Prussia consisted of Germany, Poland, and some part of Austria. So these three countries in the present days were earlier what combinedly they were known as Prussia. Okay, on the other side they had France. Okay, and these people attacked them. Their army was led by Bismarck. Okay, and they already won some area of France. The two areas mentioned in the lesson are Alsace and Lorraine. So these two districts of France went into the hands of Prussia. And after their rule ended and the Prussian rule came, what are the changes that came in the social life, especially here in the education system? All those things we will study in this lesson. Okay. The last lesson is set in the days of Franco-Prussian War 1870 to 1871, in which France was defeated by Prussia led by Bismarck. Okay. Prussia then consisted of what now are the nations of Germany, Poland, and parts of Austria. So I already explained to you. In this story, the French district of Alsace and Lorraine have passed into the Prussian hands. Read the story to find out what effect this had on the life at school. So it is mainly dealing with the education system. Okay, when the Prussian rule came in France, what were the changes made in the education system? Okay, I will just begin from here. Now the central character in this story is a boy named Franz. Okay, Franz is a common name in France, while Tommy is a common name in Britain. Okay, England. So here this small boy, his name is also Franz. Let's see what he has to say. I started for school very late that morning and was in great dread of her scolding. That is natural. If a child goes late to the school, somebody or the other will, or some in authority will scold it. Okay, the parents also might scold. Why you have got late? Okay, and scolding from the teacher also is possible. So he had the great dread, means great fear of getting a scolding, especially because M. Hamel had said that he would question us on participles, and I did not know the first word about them. So this was also the reason. He did not know anything about the rules of participles, and M. Hamel, their class teacher. Okay, this is one more character. He had already given the homework to the students that next time when we meet, I will ask you the rules about the participle. And our central character, Franz over here, he did not know anything about it. For a moment, I thought of running away and spending the day out of doors. So in such situation, normally the students would try to avoid this situation. So he thought of going out and enjoying his day over there. It was so warm, so bright, okay, because it is from France. France is the European nation. Okay, and their climate is such, so they love the warm things. So that's why he wanted to go over there. The birds were chirping at the edge of the woods, and in the open field back of the sawmill, the Prussian soldiers were drilling. Drilling means practicing. Okay, so near the sawmill you see where the woods are cut. So there the Prussian soldiers were practicing. Means Prussian soldiers have already captured this area of France. Okay. It was all much more tempting than the rule for participles. So all these things are much more tempting than go to school and just prove oneself dull. Okay. By not giving any answer. But I had the strength to resist and hurried off to school. Okay. So all these things were tempting, but Franz, a little boy, he had the power to resist all this. Okay, so he did not succumb to the temptation. He got ready for the school, even though he knew that he did not know any answer. Okay, any rule of the participle. When I passed the town hall, there was a crowd in front of the bulletin board. For the last 2 years, all our bad news had come from there. The lost battles, the draft, the orders of the commanding officers, and I thought to myself, without stopping, what can be the matter now? So on his way to school, there is one town hall, and in front of the town hall, there is one bulletin board. So while he was passing by, he saw a crowd of the people in front of that bulletin board. And he knows that for last 2 years, in 1870 and 1871, so in a way it is a gap of just 8 months over here for the war. But if you take the years separately, then one year is 1870, another is 71. Okay, and before that, only before the war begins, you see war activities are going on. So he says that for last 2 years, all the bad news had come from this bulletin board also. So whenever any bad news is there, if they lost a battle, they would write on the bulletin board, okay, this much area we have lost, this many soldiers we have lost, this many soldiers have died. Okay, all those bad news they would write. This is the new order of the our enemy army. Okay, all those bad news he had heard from there only. So now he wonders, why this crowd is over there? Okay, what can be the matter now? Now they have already won. They are in our area. Now what can be the matter? Then as I hurried by as fast as I could go, the blacksmith watched her, who was there with his apprentice. Apprentice means the learner, okay, trainee. Reading the bulletin, called after me, "Don't go so fast, bub. You will get to your school in plenty of time." So there is one blacksmith, his name is Watcher, on his way only, just near the bulletin board. So he asked him, "Don't go so fast. You have plenty of time to go over there." Okay. So here that time Franz thought that he is making fun of him. Okay, he is already late and this fellow is making fun of him. But later on he realizes that he was talking the sense. Okay, right thing. I thought he was making fun of me and reached M. Hammer's little garden all out of breath. Out of breath means running very fast. He reached over there. Okay. Usually when school began, there was a great bustle, which could be heard out in the street. The opening and closing of desk, lessons repeated in unison. In unison means together. Very loud, with our hands over our ears to understand better. And the teacher's great ruler rapping on the table. So these are the different sounds, students, which could be heard from far only, from just the distance from the school. They can hear. School is still far, but from far you can hear. Okay, teacher is shouting over there. Students are repeating certain lessons in unison. In unison means together. Okay, there is a great bustle. You can even hear the opening and closing of the desks. So all these commotions are normal in usual days. Okay, in the normal days these things are usual. Okay, then. But now it was all so still. But today, on this particular day, when he reaches there near the garden of M. Hammer's school, from that distance only he can make out that everything is so quiet today. Why that noise is missing? Okay, why that great bustle is missing today? So even he gets surprised. But then also he moves on. I had counted on the commotion to get to my desk without being seen. So he had this idea. That's why he was going running. In the beginning, just the bell has not gone or it has just gone. So initial time, what the students will take a few minutes to settle in the class till the teacher comes. They would be talking to each other. Okay, they would be exchanging certain things. They would not be at their places. When the teacher comes, then only they would go to their place and the prayer begins and all those initial activities. So that time you see there is some commotion. So Franz had thought that during that time when all the people, all the other students are here and there, he would enter the class. So he would not be noticed so easily. But when the class has all the students have settled down, the teacher has started teaching. It is pin drop silence. And at that time if somebody enters, then everybody can notice. Okay, so what Franz had expected, the opposite thing has happened. Okay, Franz thought that I would be able to enter the class unnoticed during this commotion time. But when he reaches over there, he finds everything quiet. It seems that class has already started. Okay. But of course, that day everything had to be as quiet as Sunday morning. Sunday morning, you see, school is not there. Sunday is an off day. Sunday there is no school. So the school will be quiet because there are no students, no teacher, nothing. So today, even though students are there, teacher is also there, then also everything is quiet. Okay. Through the window, I saw my classmates already in their places and M. Himmel walking up and down with his terrible iron ruler under his arm. So through the window, he saw whether children are there or not, whether teacher is there or not. And he found them there only. And then also no noise. So their lesson has already started, class has already started. Okay. I had to open the door and go in before everybody. Now it is something what we can say embarrassing thing. He has to go in front of everyone. He has to open the door, ask for the permission, and then he has to go to his place. So everybody can notice him, and that situation only took place. Then you can imagine how I blushed and how frightened I was. So from this situation you can make out how I blushed, how I was embarrassed. Okay, how shameful I was at that day going late to the school, and how frightened I was because M. Himmel was a strict teacher. Okay, and he had expected scolding from him. Okay, students. But nothing happened. M. Himmel saw me and said very kindly, "Go to your place quickly, little Franz. We were beginning without you." So this is also an unexpected reaction of the class teacher. On the other days, he would scold the latecomers or he would also beat also. But here, today, M. Himmel is so quiet. And very quietly, he tells him, "Please go to your place. Okay, we were going to begin without you. Good you came in time." I jumped over the bench and sat down at my desk. Not till then, when I had got a little over my fright, means now he got composed, did I notice that our teacher had on his beautiful green coat, his frilled shirt, and the little black silk cap, all embroidered, that he never wore except on the inspection and prize days. So he came, he saw M. Himmel, he entered, he asked for his permission, went to his place. All this time, he had not noticed one particular thing. What was that particular thing? That was the attire of M. Himmel. Attire means dress. On this particular day, M. Himmel had put on one particular dress. What was that dress? Green coat, frilled shirt. Frilled shirt means the shirt with wrinkles over here in this part, neck part. And also a cap, students. It was very much embroidered. Okay. And this dress he used to put on only on the inspection days or the prize days. And today he knows that there is no prize giving ceremony or there is no inspection. Then why has the sir put on this dress? Okay, that is another question in his mind. Okay. Besides, the whole school seemed so strange and solemn. In other days, it was not looking so serious because children were allowed to talk. Okay, whenever there was this one exchange of periods, the teacher would go begin the next period. Then also there would be some noise. In the beginning of the school also there would be some noise. When the children open their desks, that time also there would be some noise. But here you see everything looks so solemn and strange. But the thing that surprised me most was to see on the back benches that were always empty the village people sitting quietly like ourselves. Now, village people never came to attend the class, and today the last benches, which were normally remaining empty on the other days, they are also filled with the villagers. So that was again another surprise for him. So he is getting one after the other, all the surprises only. Old Hosser with his three-cornered hat, the former mayor, the former postmaster, and several others besides. Okay, so among the villagers, these people are there. One old Hosser is there. He has put on three-cornered cap. Okay, there is one former mayor, former postmaster, and also several other people. Everybody looked sad, and Hosser had brought in an old primer. Primer, you know, primer is just a book. Okay, at the KG level, you find those books, primer. So, old Hosser had come with that primer. Maybe in his time, he did not get the time to learn. So, he remained illiterate. Now, he wants to study. Thumbed at the edges means bent at the edges, torn at the edges. And you see, and he held it open on his knees with his great spectacles lying across the pages. Okay, it can be seen from the picture only how he kept that book, and through his glasses, okay, through his specs, he is looking into it. While I was wondering about it all, M. Himmel mounted his chair and, in the same grave and gentle tone which he had used to me, said, "My children, this is the last lesson I shall give you. The order has come from Berlin to teach only German in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. The new master comes tomorrow. This is your last French lesson. I want you to be very attentive." Okay, students? So here you see, this is the greatest surprise. This is the greatest surprise for France. He is getting one after the other all the surprises. The greatest surprise is this news. Today is the last French lesson. Tomorrow onwards, the Prussian government is going to begin what? Teaching German in our school. Okay, so that is what a thunderclap these words were to me. So thunderclap means like a shock. He thought that school has just begun and we have the entire year to study, and suddenly they are told that tomorrow onwards you won't be taught your language but you will be taught some other language. So how will the students feel? Okay, so that's why here it is, he says that it was very shocking. Oh, the wretches, that was what they had put up at the town hall. Okay, so wretches means the mean people. Here mean people, wretches means the Prussian people. The Prussian people only had put on that news on the bulletin board while I was coming, and the people were just reading that news. Understood? He did not have time to read. Now he came to know. His same news was written on the bulletin board, and that's why that fellow Wichter also told me to go slowly. Okay, my last French lesson, surprising. Why I hardly knew how to write. I should never learn anymore. I must stop here then. Oh, how sorry I was for not learning my lessons, for seeking birds' eggs, or going sliding on the Saar. Saar is what? The river over there, okay? In the area of Alsace, near the area of Alsace. My books that had seemed such a nuisance a while ago, so heavy to carry, my grammar and my history of the saints, were old friends now that I could not give up. Okay, students, now these are the sudden feelings. Okay, you are going to your regular school and someone announces, "Hey, by tomorrow onwards, you are not supposed to come to school." How will you feel? You will have so many questions to answer. Okay, you will have so many queries also to make. What have I done? You might ask this question. You are not telling the other students, you are telling me only to stop coming to school. What is the problem? What wrong have I done? What will I answer my parents? So many queries are there. So many questions are there. So here this instruction is for all the students. So all the students are shocked. Not only France, all the students are shocked. Okay? Students keep that thing in mind. And what he thinks that he has not even learnt properly how to write and read French, their own language. And suddenly they will be stopped. Okay? So students, that is again you see very shocking. He says that for some times ago he did not feel like learning at all. These books were just looking like some sort of nuisance. That is there in the case of certain students. They, I don't know, for some unknown reasons, they never like to study at all. Even though the best quality books are given to them, best quality digests are given to them, best quality study material is given to them, then also they are not ready to study. So similar was the situation of France. And when when it is announced to him that okay, from tomorrow onwards you won't be taught French, then he is surprised. Okay, and now those books are only looking like old friends for him. Okay, students, just to see. And M. Hamel, too, the idea that he was going away, that I should never see him again, made me forget all about his ruler and how cranky he was. Up till now, he was just hating him because M. Hamel was very strict. He used his ruler also many a times, and he was a sort of cranky person. Okay, cranky means whimsical. Okay, crazy we can say. Whatever came into his mind, he would normally put into practice. As a teacher, he is supposed to use new ideas and he is supposed to complete his course. But the children don't like to study, so that's why they consider even the person, the teachers like M. Hamel, also crazy. Okay, but now he was feeling sorry for M. Hamel also. Up till now, he was hating him. But now he knows that tomorrow new teacher will come who will teach us German. So he is feeling sorry for M. Hamel also. Okay, students. Poor man. It was his in honor of this last lesson that he had put on his fine Sunday clothes. Now he realizes those clothes, particular attire that he wears on inspection and prize days. Why he has put on this day? Because today is going to be the last lesson. That's why. And now I understood why the old men of the village were sitting there in the back of the room. It was because they were sorry too that they had not gone to school more. It was their way of thanking our master for his 40 years of faithful service and of showing their respect for the country that was theirs no more. Okay, students, now villagers also have understood that in our country only we want to be taught French. And they want to thank M. Hamel also. They know that M. Hamel is going to leave the school. So they want to thank M. Hamel also, students. And you see, they were also feeling sorry that all these years they never learned. So just to express their gratitude, they have come over there. While I was thinking of all this, I heard my name called. It was my turn to recite what I would not have given to be able to say that dreadful rule for the participle all through, very loud and clear and without one mistake. But I got mixed up on the first words. Okay, it was his turn to say the rule of participles, and earlier we were told that he did not know anything about it. So he got mixed up on the first word only. He could not go ahead after that, and stood there holding on to my desk, my heart beating and not daring to look up. Okay, he is not able to say the entire rule. So now he is feeling a bit frightened. His sir will definitely scold me, hit me, or something like that. Bravo. I heard M. Hamel say to me, but what M. Hamel says, you see, I won't scold you, little Franz. You must feel bad enough. See how it is. Every day we have said to ourselves, bah, I have plenty of time. I'll learn it tomorrow. And now you see where we have come out. Okay, that is the great trouble with Alsace. She puts off learning till tomorrow. Now those fellows out there will have the right to say to you, how is it you pretend to be Frenchmen and yet you can neither speak nor write your own language? But, okay students, so now M. Hamel is saying all these things. All the time you thought that you have plenty of time to study. Many of the students think that abhi to school shuru hua hai. Okay, the best way to study is whatever you learn on a particular day, same you practice on the same day or complete the homework on the same day. Don't go on storing. People think that abhi to school shuru hui hai, we have plenty of time, tomorrow I'll write, day after tomorrow I'll write. And till that time you see new topics are also taught. And when they again go for the old topics, then they forget what was taught over there. I did not understand. Now what to do? The best way to study is whatever you learn on a particular day, you practice it, or whatever homework is there for that topic, you complete it. हर रोज का काम हर रोज करने का. Okay, so that way you won't have the botheration of studying all the topics together, and at the exam time all those things are fresh in your memory. Understood? But most of the students, what they just postpone it, and then they never know what can happen. So here M. Hamel is drawing their attention to that fact कि all the time you just went on saying that क्या होगा, we went on postponing it. बराबर? ये पूरे आलसिस के लोग करते हैं. That's what he says. And then those people over there, now he's pointing out the Prussian soldiers. They can come and taunt you कि are you a French guy and you don't know your own language, French, so they can taunt you that way. Okay, then what he says, okay, but you are not the worst, poor little France. We have all a great deal to reproach ourselves with. Reproach यानी blame. Okay, हम सबको अपने आप blame लेना पड़ेगा. Your parents were not anxious enough to have you learn. They prefer to put you to work on a farm or at the mills, so as to have a little more money. And now he is talking about the fault of everyone. Ki you were not ready to learn. Your parents were also not anxious for you to get the education. Instead, they wanted you to go to the farm or some other place and work so that they can get some more money in the family. Okay, and then he talks about himself also. Okay, and what have I done? I have been to blame also. He talks about himself also. M. Hamel. कि मुझे भी अपने आप को blame देना पड़ेगा. Regarding what? Students, you see. कि I have been to blame also. Have I not often sent you to water my flowers instead of learning your lessons? जब तुम्हें लेसन लर्न करने के होते थे तब मैंने तुम्हें नहीं भेजा था हमारे फ्लावर्स को पानी देने के लिए. एंड व्हेन आई वांटेड टू गो फिशिंग डिड आई नॉट जस्ट गिव यू अ हॉलिडे? सो इन अ वे M. Hamel skipped his lectures. Okay, whenever he wanted to do something, he gave holiday to the students. Then from one thing to another, M. Hamel went on to talk of the French language, saying that it was the most beautiful language in the world, the clearest, the most logical, that we must guard it among us and never forget it. Because when a people are enslaved, as long as they hold fast to their language, it is as if they had the key to their prison. Okay, students, now he talks about the language. Every country people will say that their language is the best language. Okay, students, so here M. Hamel also says that theirs, yani French, is the most beautiful language. He says that French is what? The clearest language. He says that the French is the most logical language. Okay, students, all these adjectives he is using for that language, and he says that we must guard our language. So some people have great honor for their language. Okay, if you go to the states of South India, all of them have the great honor for their language. If you speak anything against them, they will not like it. They might run after you to beat. Okay, they cannot hear anything against their language. Even our states were formed after independence on the linguistic basis. Students, keep in mind. So here M. Hamel also says that their language is the most beautiful language, and as long as they protect their language, they cling to their language, it is as if it is the key to their prison. Okay, here same thing was done. Or sometimes we wonder why Britishers ruled over India for 200 years. Because the language of the people was different. In the northern part, people were speaking Hindi, Punjabi, all those languages. And in south, you see Malayalam, Kannada, Tamil, Telugu. So whatever the North Indian people planned against Britishers, the South Indian people could not understand. What South Indian people planned against Britishers, North Indian could not understand. So Gandhiji came, and you see they connected the people with one common language, that was Hindi. So everybody could interact with each other and can understand the strategy. And that is how we got our freedom. So language is also one responsible force for getting our freedom. So here it is said that if you cling to your language, it is like a key to your prison. Okay, if the people are enslaved and if they remain clung to their language, then they can just remove the slavery also. So students, I think here we will stop. In my next video, we will see the remaining lesson. I hope you have understood it well. Kindly go through this lesson once again. If you have got any query, you can always ask me. Thank you. Have a nice day. God bless you. Take care. Bye.